Hey guys, it's Tuesday morning, about 10:20 a.m. I wanted to talk a little bit about this last weekend. It was transgender weekend. Friday I went to court and I posted some videos about that. And then Sunday my partner and I went to the Bay Area to meet with Dr. Brownstein, my chest surgeon, and Dr. Mosier, who's going to be prescribing my testosterone. And then my partner also had an appointment with my therapist. So on Sunday we drove down and we decided to spend the afternoon, evening at the beach. So we drove to the Bay Area, we checked into our hotel, and then we drove to Pacifica, and we got to Pacifica, and it was like 40-mile-an-hour wind gusts, and that's not fun. So we're like, okay, we're just gonna get some really great coffee, and we're just gonna sit on the beach, and we're gonna like deal with this wind. So we got some coffee, and it tasted like ass. It was horrible. So we got back in the car and drove back into the city. We went and parked at Pier 39 and decided to walk to Golden Gate Bridge. So for any of you guys that are familiar with the city, you kind of get an idea what that's like. If you're not familiar with the city, Pier 39 is kind of like the hub of the wharf. There's restaurants and like lots of touristy shit and lots of people. So we parked in a parking garage and was like, oh, we'll just get validated, no big deal. So the walk to Golden Gate Bridge, North Shore area, probably like 4 miles there maybe. Beautiful, beautiful walk. I have a bunch of pictures that I'm going to put together in a slideshow to check it out, because I know some people might be interested in the Bay Area, like Charles in Florida. I know he totally digs San Francisco, so I don't know if he watches my videos or not, but whatever. So we got there, and it was windy at North Shore as well, but not 40-mile-an-hour windy, and we finally found some good coffee. Not Starbucks. Starbucks is not great coffee, but it's better than the ass coffee that we had in Pacifica. So we get there and had a really, really nice time and enjoyed ourselves, and then walked back to Pier 39, had dinner at this place called, like, it's some Italian place, I don't know how to pronounce it. Fucking awesome food. It was so, so good. So we make it back to the hotel Sunday night and get in bed, and it was like sleeping on concrete with a sheet over the top of it. It was horrible. It was horrible. But made it through the night, so got up Monday morning. Partner and I went to my therapist in the East Bay. It was alright. My therapist made a couple of comments that pissed my partner off, kind of hurt her feelings, so that kind of affected things. And then I had this stellar idea to, instead of driving into the city and trying to find these doctor's appointments and so forth, is to park at a BART and take BART into the city. And again, if you're not from the Bay Area, BART is like subway, except it goes above ground and underground, so it's mass transit. Much cheaper too. So, and that way we avoid the Bay Bridge, Toll Plaza, and all that kind of stuff. So, according to the map, it says to get off at 16th and Mission. Alright. Mission can be a little sketchy sometimes, but that's alright. So we get off at 16th and Mission, and then my little directions say to walk about a mile to Dr. Brownstein's office. Okay, so maybe a little more than a mile. My appointment was at 12:30, and that was probably, I don't know, 2.5 miles on foot, because, you know, if you're driving you can go a certain way. We had to walk up this crazy hill, and then down this crazy hill, and then back up this crazy hill, and the end result is that we were like 5 minutes late to my appointment. But it was alright, because they were pretty chill. So we get there, and we buzz the door, and this woman comes out and says, oh, can you hang on a second? There's a dog in there. And there's a dog barking. It's like, there's a dog in the surgeon's office? Yes, there was a dog in the surgeon's office. So we get into Brownstein's office, and again, some of you guys who have watched this video might relate to this because you've been in Brownstein's office, but walk in, and it's in this like total, I don't know, like lofty style sort of a building, and there's a huge, and I mean huge, like Rocky Horror Picture Show, huge overstuffed yellow and purple chair, and with a gigantic purple tie. So I'm 6'2", I'm kind of a big guy. If I were to sit in this chair, I would probably look like I was about 4 years old. Huge. And on the table was a pencil, and it was like that big around and like that long. Huge. So the receptionist lady was like, so what are you here for? And I was like, well, you scheduled the appointment. I need to get my pre-surgery packet, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, oh, well, we don't have it. And Frank, the wiener dog, was running around barking. It was a little weird. My partner kind of summed it up to like Toy Story, you know, like Mr. Potato Head, like they stick all these different parts on. It felt like there was a bunch of misfit toys all over the place. So then Brownstein comes down and kind of goes over stuff, no big deal, everything's good, and then he says, let's go in the back, I want to look at your chest. Okay, so I prepared for this. So we go in the back. However, what I did not prepare for was every single person in that office to come in the back with us. So that was a little weird. So take my shirt off, take my binder off, and he reaches out and touched my chest, and he said, yeah, you definitely need a double incision. It was weird, a little weird, but it's all right because I'm gonna have surgery, so that's cool. So then we leave there, and it's like 1 o'clock, and we have to be Dr. Mosher's office at 2. And so instead of trying to walk, I was like, nah, let's take a cab. So we get in the cab, and we're driving, and my doctor's office is on Castro, which, if you're not familiar with the Bay Area, again, is like the gay district of San Francisco for the most part. So we get in the cab, and I'm like, hey, I need to go to 45 Castro. And we're driving along, and this guy's talking about his trip to Arizona and how his mom called him fat and blah, 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 blah. And we passed Beaver Street, and this guy says, you guys don't live on Beaver Street? Like a lesbian joke. It was weird. And then he asked us if we read Hustler magazine. Really? Like, it was odd. And we're driving by this little market, and he's like, oh, this is the best market ever. Pulls over. He's like, you guys go run in and get some stuff. It's the best market ever. And I'm like, no, I have someplace to be. I need you to take me to 45 Castro, please. So he drives past 45 Castro as he's talking about Hustler magazine and the pictures of women, and like it was like this surreal sort of a thing. So I was like, you know what, just drop us off here. We'll find it. We'll walk. No big deal. So we're a little bit early to my doctor's appointment, but we get there and I fill out all the paperwork. And as I had mentioned, my name changed on Friday. So my insurance still bills me under my birth name, but my legal name, which is attached to my social security number, is Aiden. So the woman's like, well, we have to bill it to what's in the insurance. I said, but my legal name is Aiden. She said, well, we have to bill it to the insurance of your legal name. I said, my legal name is Aiden. Might be getting a little frustrated at this point. So finally get that all worked out. Go into Dr. Mosher's office. Dude wears a bow tie. Interesting guy. Funny sense of humor, but you don't know that he's funny because he comes across as maybe like a little nerdy. But I think he's like a bondage S&M dude when he's not being a doctor. So we get in, do the history, do the whole 9 yards, everything. And it's weird because I felt like I was taking a test. Like, what if I answer a question wrong and he won't give me testosterone? And so part of the exam is a physical, which includes a pelvic. Okay. This might be too much information for most of you, but it's relevant to the story. Couldn't have a pelvic because I was on my period. So the problem with that now is that I was supposed to come back in 2 weeks to start testosterone, and now he asked me to come back in 6 weeks. And so we can do a pelvic and blah, blah, blah. And then he says, well, since you're having chest surgery on June 3rd, and 6 weeks from now is, in May, we may not want to start you on testosterone until after surgery because we don't want to introduce too much into the body. Here's my problem. I am not prepared to wait until the end of June to start testosterone. Way too much time. So it was a major disappointment. It was a huge, huge letdown to go into it thinking in 2 weeks I'd start T, and now I'm looking at the end of June. So I'm going to call him and tell him it's not working. Here's the other thing that he said. He works specifically with trans patients, but here's the thing that he said that totally bothered me. He said, you've lived this way your whole life. Another couple of weeks won't hurt you. And I felt like saying, F you, dude. Yes, it will. Like, you don't know what it's like to live all these years like this and then be asked to wait another, 2 months. Like, you don't have no idea what that's like. So we drove home last night, and by the time I got home, I had the worst migraine ever, and took some meds and passed out at like 9 o'clock and woke up at 9 o'clock this morning. So there it is. I'm going to try to call Dr. Mosher next week and see if I'm going to lie a little bit and say, hey, I'm going to be in the Bay Area. Can I get in? And you can do your exam and yada yada. Because, dude, I can't wait till the end of June to start testosterone. That is just, like, not cool. So there's my weekend.